up, my friends? How are you guys doing today? Welcome back. Thank you for stopping in. I hope wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, you are thriving and striving, loving yourself and loving the people that you're with, because that is what it is all about. Guys, today we're talking about a movie from 1995, directed by Mr. Albery Pyun. This is Nemesis 2 Nebula. Before we get into this time-traveling action adventure, hit that like and subscribe button for me, and we're going to dive right in. This stars Sue Price as Alex. She takes her name from the main character of the first film, and it was Alex, played by Olivier Gruner, or Grunier, whatever. That guy in the first film was her, namesake in this, because this takes place like many years after the first film. She's like a time-traveling barbarian prince. I don't know what she is. It's hard to tell, but everything's pretty, post-apocalyptic, dystopian, lots of browns and deserts and things like that. Places where you can blow stuff up without getting in trouble, right? Because that's what he's trying to do in this film. It's purely an action film. But this stars Sue Price as Alex, and she was a pretty prominent bodybuilder. I say prominent. She was in magazines and posters and all that back in the Gap, back in 1995. And she was basically in this like a time-traveling Conan. Like, she was just this big, jacked-up babe who was, shooting guns and punching people, which is cool. That's what you paid to get, right? I mean, you're watching something on Tubi, that's probably what you're going to get, right? So we're watching her, and then come to find out, while I'm researching this film, while I'm doing a little digging, the main bad guy, the namesake of the film, Nebula, is played by none other than Mr. Chad Stahelski. And if you guys don't know who that is, Chad Stahelski is the guy who brought us John Wick in those movies. He's the one who directed those, and man, does he have an eye for action. But this was where he started at. This is like a Troma. It's not Troma, but it's like, low-budget action film. And this is where he, kind of started. You don't see his face. You don't see anything like that. I think maybe he does the voice of the bad guy. But it's just a big, like Temu Predator looking thing. Really, this thing just goes invisible with like the most terrible invisibility CGI cloak you will ever see. And he hunts down this time-traveling barbarian girl who has the DNA to save the world or something like that. And really, you're not watching these movies for the story, because the story's pretty generic. It's like, oh, she's going to save the world, bad guys are hunting her. And it's all about Albery Pyun's directing and his eye for action and things like that. So he brings it, but it's your typical over-the-top, like, I'm going to shoot a rocket launcher at you and blow up an entire building kind of thing. Like, it's just ridiculous over-the-top action. But that's, again, what you're paying to watch with these kind of films, right? And it was entertaining, but my friend was right. This isn't a step up. This is like a couple steps down from the original Nemesis. The original Nemesis had like a flair to it. This just looked dirty, unfinished a lot of the time. It's just the cinema quality itself wasn't very good. The special effects were very, like they were put together with a wooden nickel and some baling wire. For all of us Southern folks out there, you know what I mean. It's like, there was just, it was just kind of held together on the low budget, and you could tell they spent most of their budget trying to make this futuristic bounty hunter thing look believable, and really it just looked ridiculous. It really did. And the voice itself was terrible. And our main character, Alex, Sue Price, she couldn't act her way out of a wet paper sack. Even if it was a wet, biodegradable paper sack that was just melting around her, she couldn't act her way out of it. All she did was pose for the camera with big guns, right? In more ways than one, if you know what I mean. And it was just like, dude, I'm watching this buff chick, turn around and take off her top, but I'm just seeing her back muscles and all. It was basically like a movie for her to pose in. That's all it was. Because her acting was just, yes, we have to go there. And I understand that maybe she's not supposed to have a whole lot of emotion. Maybe she's not supposed to, maybe I'm not supposed to get attached to her. But there could have been some sort of engagement or some sort of acting coach that could have said, hey, listen, Sue, let's put a little more passion into that performance, right? There was none of that. This was just cut and dry action film. We're not worried about how good the acting is. We're worried. Now, there is one scene, okay? One scene that really stood out to me, and if it was shot with a budget, it would have been incredible. She's like diving out of something, and she kicks the bad guy out of something. They're both falling at the same time, and the way the camera angle's set up, and she's like shooting him as they're falling. It was a really, really cool camera shot, really cool action sequence, but that was the only memorable thing in the whole movie. And I'm not gonna lie, I tried Nemesis 2 after this. I mean, Nemesis 3 after this. I didn't even finish it because I was like, she's, you know, up there in age at this point. She's still trying to look buff, and it's starting to, you know, sag a little. And it's just like, maybe these aren't your movies anymore. Maybe you should go do a Law and Order episode or do some TV or something, because this ain't it for you. I don't think this was it for you to begin with, Sue. But, you know, you tried. You get an A for effort. I mean, really, we're watching this for Pyun's action, right? And so that's what you get. But was it the same quality as the first one? No, it wasn't as good as the first one. I give it like 1 thumb up. You know, like it's worth it to watch it. But then after this, she is the main character in the next 3 films, right? I think there's 5 of these. So she's the main character from 2 through 5. And it's just, I wouldn't waste my time on it. And my dog just bumped my table and made my camera shake. Thanks a lot, dog. But anyway, guys, that's it for Nemesis 2 Nebula. If you've seen it, and, you know, let me know what you think about it in the comment section here. Thank you for stopping in, talking with me for just a few minutes about it. Hit that like and subscribe button on the way out, guys. And as always, I am going to keep making them as long as you keep watching them. Peace out. God bless you, my friends, and I'll see you soon.